नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो। आई एम JVN डॉक्टर सुमन शेखावत, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ काय चिकित्सा, फैकल्टी ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक साइंसेज, ज्योति विद्यापीठ, विमेंस यूनिवर्सिटी, जयपुर। Today we will discuss on cardiovascular system examination, that we should ask with the patient first of all history of the patient, that some kind of symptoms present to the patient or not, like cardinal symptom, dyspnea on exertion or breathlessness, including paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, orthonia, platynia, traponia, and chest pain, cough, expectoration, hemoptysis, palpitation, syncopal attack. Symptoms of congestive cardiac failure like exertional breathlessness, edema of the feet, puffiness of face, anasarca, distension of abdomen and pain in right hypochondrium, anorexia, nausea, vomiting. Symptoms of rheumatic heart disease like fever with sore throat, fleeting joint pain, swelling, involuntary chorea, nodules under the skin like rheumatic nodule, symptoms of infective endocarditis, SBE. These all are symptoms present in the patient or not. We should ask with the patient, like pyrexia, petechial hemorrhage, pads of the finger, oscular nodes, palpable spleen, phalangeal clubbing, prolonged treatment with high dose of penicillin. We should ask if the patient is taking prolonged treatment of penicillin or not. Hemoptysis, hematuria, hemiplasia, phlebothrombosis. Symptoms of suggestive congenital heart disease patient have or not, like cyanotic spell, squatting episodes, and pressure symptom due to enlarged left atrium or aneurysm of aorta, like hoarseness of voice, pressure on the recurrent laryngeal nerve, Orters syndrome, dysphagia, pressure on esophagus. Miscellaneous symptoms, some of miscellaneous things we should ask with the patient, like family history, hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, dyslipidemia, congenital heart disease, cardiomyopathies, and past history of hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, hyperlipidemia, obesity, recurrent lower respiratory infection, tuberculosis, syphilis, STD, HIV, and infection. History of hospitalization, number of admissions, duration of each admission, and investigation done, like ECG, X-ray, echocardiography, cardiac catheterization, diagnosis reached if known, drug given, example diuretics, digitalis, relief obtained or not, advice, surgery, intervention or not, history of cardiac surgery, angioplasty or valvuloplasty. We should ask with the physical examination or general examination of the patient, like we have to see in the patient that build and nutrition of the patient, nails in conjunctiva for pallor, icterus, clubbing, and cyanosis. Lymphadenopathy and thyroid swelling, edema, skin for petechial hemorrhage, oscular nodes, rheumatic nodules, xanthelasma, and xanthomas. We should ask with the patient. Skeletal system, kyphoscoliosis, and polydactyly. Decubitus and temperature, pulse, and respiratory rate, blood pressure of the patient. Features of Marfan syndrome, that patient have these kind of symptoms or not. If patient have these kind of symptoms, we should assess the patient. And cardiovascular system, first of all we should see that we have to examine in cardiovascular system, like peripheral and central things. Peripheral, we should examine jugular venous pressure and pulse, rate, rhythm, volume, character, quality, upstroke, downstroke, condition of vessel wall, apex, pulse deficit, and radiofemoral delay, carotid bruit, blood pressure, both arms supine and upright, peripheral sign of wide pulse pressure as in AI, PDA, etc. Pistol shot sounds over the femoral Mussett sign, D Mussett sign, locomotor brachial. Centrally we should see inspection, palpation, percussion and auscultation. We should see in inspection precordium, apex impulse, other pulsation, parasternal episodes, and palpation we should see apex beat, and percussion we should see right upper border and right border, left border, lower sternal resonance. Auscultation we should see heart sound, murmur and other sound. नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो. आई एम JVN डॉक्टर सुमन शेखावत, फैकल्टी ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक साइंसेज, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ काय चिकित्सा, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today we will discuss on examination of cardiovascular system. In the series of examination of cardiovascular system, today we will discuss detection of cardiac arrhythmias. Electrocardiogram or ECG documentation of the arrhythmias should be obtained prior to instituting treatment. In patient with sustained arrhythmias, a 12-lead recording at rest is usually diagnostic, but a long continuous recording of the lead showing the clearest P wave, if present, should also be obtained. In hospital ECG monitoring, patients who have had out of hospital cardiac arrest or severe arrhythmia induced heart failure should undergo continuous ECG monitoring in hospital under the surveillance of staff trained in the recognition and treatment of arrhythmias. Ambulatory Holter ECG monitoring. Patients with frequent palpitation or dizzy attack are commonly investigated by means of an ambulatory 24-hour ECG. The availability of portal cassettes recorder allow this to be performed as an outpatient. Analysis of the tape identifies any cardiac arrhythmias that occurred during the monitoring periods. Patient activated ECG recording. The patient with infrequent symptoms. The detection rate with 24-hour ambulatory monitoring is low, and patient activated recorders are more useful. The patient can keep the recorder for several weeks and activate it when symptoms occur. Implantable loop recording. Patient in whom there is clinical suspicion of serious arrhythmias but whose symptoms occur less than once a month pose particular diagnostic difficulty. Exercise testing. The ECG recorded during exercise may be helpful when there is a history of exertional palpitation. Arrhythmias provoked by ischemia or increased sympathetic activity are more likely to be detected during exercise. Tilt testing. When malignant vasovagal syndrome is suspected, ECG and blood pressure recording during tilting from supine to erect posture can be helpful. Electrophysiological study. Electrophysiological technique requires cardiac catheterization with catheter mounted electrode. Premature stimuli are introduced into the atria or ventricular with a view to stimulating re-entry arrhythmias. In the normal heart, sustained arrhythmias are rarely provoked by premature stimuli. Thus, arrhythmia's provocation is usually diagnostic, particularly when the arrhythmias reproduce symptoms. Diagnosis of atrial arrhythmias. The ECG is atrial arrhythmia shows a narrow and morphologically normal QRS complex. When ventricular depolarization occurs by normal His-Purkinje pathway. Atrial ectopic beats. Atrial ectopic beats rarely indicate heart disease. They often occur spontaneously but may be provoked by toxic stimuli such as caffeine, alcohol, and cigarette smoking. Atrial fibrillation. Prevalence increase with age and it is common in hypertensive heart disease, mitral valve disease, thyrotoxicosis, and left ventricular failure. It can be precipitated by pneumonia, major surgery, and various toxic stimuli, particularly alcohol. Atrial activity is chaotic and mechanically ineffective. Atrial flutter. Atrial flutter is less common than atrial fibrillation but occurs under identical circumstances. Re-entry mechanism produce an atrial rate close to 300 bps. The normal atrioventricular node conduct with 2:1 block, giving a ventricular rate of 150 bpm. Higher degree of block may reflect intrinsic disease of the atrioventricular node or the effect of nodal blocking during blocking drug. The ECG characteristically shows sawtooth flutter waves, which are most clearly seen when the block is increased by carotid sinus pressure. Diagnosis of nodal arrhythmias. Nodal arrhythmias are often called supraventricular tachycardia and are usually paroxysmal without obvious cardiac or extrinsic causes. Atrioventricular nodal re-entry tachycardia. The abnormal atrioventricular pathway provides the basis for a small re-entry circuit. In sinus rhythms, the electrocardiogram is usually normal, although occasionally the PR interval is short. During tachycardia, the rate is 150 to 250 bpm. Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome is a congenital disorder which affects 0.12% of the population. It is caused by an accessory pathway, bundle of Kent, between the atria and the ventricles. During sinus rhythm, atrial impulses conduct more rapidly through the accessory pathway than the atrioventricular node, such that the initial phase of the ventricular depolarization occurs only pre-excitation and spreads slowly through the ventricles by normal pathway. Next is diagnosis of ventricular arrhythmias. Ventricular premature beat. Ventricular premature beat may occur in normal individual either spontaneously or in response to toxic stimuli such as caffeine or sympathomimetic drugs. Next is ventricular tachycardia. Ventricular tachycardia is defined as 3 or more consecutive ventricular beats at a rate above 120 per minute. Ventricular depolarization inevitably occurs slowly by abnormal pathways producing a broad QRS complex. Ventricular fibrillation. Ventricular fibrillation occurs most commonly in severe myocardial ischemia, either with or without frank infarction. It is a completely disorganized arrhythmias characterized by irregular fibrillatory waves with no discernible QRS complex. There is no effective cardiac output and death is inevitable unless resuscitation and direct current defibrillation is instituted rapidly. Thank you. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. I hope you all are satisfied with this session. If you feel any kind of problem with this session, please mention it in comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you.